Okay, I'm going back to this thing I did a video on. Uh, I'm going to leave a link, but you should look at it, read it. Our goal: world power. Poison of liberalism. We shall destroy. We are wolves. Control the press. Free press destroyed. Only lies printed. We deceive workers. We'll get to that in a minute. We shall forbid Christ. Secret societies. Gentiles are stupid. Gentiles are cattle. We demand submission. We shall be cruel. We shall change history. We shall destroy the clergy. Government by fear. We shall destroy capital. We cause depressions. Gentile states bankrupt. Gentile states bankrupt. Tyranny of usury. King of the Jews. They're not talking about Jesus. What other protocols of the learned elders of Zion? I want to talk to you about that. Hitler was a Zionist Jew. A lot of those people from what happened over there, the scientists, doctors were sent on the ground. Some of them were caught, some of them weren't. And that's when they came up with crimes against humanity, is so that what's happening today does not happen again, but nobody brings it up. And if I knew how to use it and do it, I would do it. I know how to use it, but how would I go about doing it is what I mean. Crimes against humanity. But this is what it is. What are the protocols of the learned elders of Zion? I got this from Machine Monkey. Told me to look it up, so I did, and it hits right on. And there are some things that are very important. They're all important, but the things that just come to my mind are like the unimportant, the jobs that nobody wants to go to. Because they're getting unemployment. The problem is with that is that these people don't realize that the free money is going to end. They will pull the rug out from under you. Stay out of the system. It's too bad I have to be in the system, but I am. But I have places to go. 20 years ago, when I was fighting these demons, I was being shown stuff that it just baffles me, because one of them was churches. even though the only church I've ever really attended was the Mormon church, and that wasn't very long because I didn't agree with a lot of the stuff they did. I was pulled away from it, I think, by the Spirit. But anyway, I found out after I came to YouTube what they were doing with people that would look for, just researching and stuff like that. They would excommunicate them. Then they'd shun them, which is going to happen to the people that, don't get along with the program. But as far as jobs go, they've got, I don't know how many. God only knows how many because I don't. Migrants. The Haitian, this side, I just had a video on this one here. This guy from Chile. This is Oscar El Blue. That's he lives in Chile. And those people that came from Hades and probably other places resided in Chile. They came from Hades, and in 2017, 2018, and they, settled there, and they were given IDs and stuff like that, and which they could use these IDs to get across the other borders, but here they could not use them because they needed a certain passport and stuff like that. But when the thing came about in 2020, see the government started giving these people money, just like you did here. But these people saved it and made their way to here, the United States. There's more coming, but these people already had asylum in Chile. It's not because of the earthquakes or any of that stuff. These people had asylum. So, by all accounts, these people can't seek asylum here because they already had it and they left. But they threw the ID cards away so nobody knew who they were. And long story short, we don't know what's going on. People will say, but some of those kids, if you see some of those kids, they look like they're drugged. They're so limp and like dead weight. You know how somebody that, and it's not sleep. When you lose function, kids don't lose function to their arms and stuff when they're sleeping. I've had two, I know. So these people can get a Social Security number. All they need to get a job is a Social Security number, even though it's illegal in this country. But, with the help of the Catholic charities, that's not it. And see if this is not it either. See, waves of Afghan refugees being resettled in the United States by Catholic charities. And we'll get to that one in a minute. Biden, the stupid Bill Batter crap. Biden administration working with Catholic charities to provide illegals free hotel, commercial flights into the U.S. interior. I'll leave links, you can read this stuff. But Biden is a Catholic. And like I've said before, that back in the day, the Knights Templar, which is part of the Catholic Church, stole things from the Jewish or Israel, and Israel wants it back. So I think those two are going to get together, or they, because these people are freaking very powerful. Not these people, the Catholic Charities are freaking Biden, but these Zionists are very powerful. And when I was waiting to get into a place of my own, I stayed in a foster care home for a couple months. And see, I've seen a lot of stuff. And those people in those foster care, through no fault of their own, the foster care home takes almost all their money. All they have is $40 a month to buy personal stuff, clothing, whatever you might call it. Yeah, that's what happens. And those poor people are in the system. I feel bad for those people. That's why I say, I'm not a bad person. These are the types of people that I like to protect because they're vulnerable. These people, and then you got these ones coming over illegally getting free stuff, while you got homeless people. Let me see where it is. There, maybe that's it. Yeah, homeless. You got homeless people in this country. They never help the homeless people. And it's bad. Like there's 54,666 or 65 for here, and then here there's 60, or there's 22,000 right here in California. Who is priest? I think that's 181,000 plus live are in California. And New York is like 91,000. Florida, Texas doesn't have, surprisingly enough, doesn't have enough. I mean, it has enough. 27,000 is a lot. But, you have to ask yourself, why are they doing that when there's people on the street? Some people may just need a hand to get out of where they're at, but nobody's willing to help them. But by gosh, you better do this and that for these poor people that are coming across. Yeah, so you can bring your drugs and crap in and do other disgraceful things to children and stuff like that, and it's just disgraceful. Okay. I'll show you, not this one. Not this one. This one, you're going to laugh on this one. This is like, I don't know what it is. It'd be like Glennda the Good Witch, or, it's funny.
With a super chat, no question, but thank you for the support, Manuel. I appreciate it. All of those questions came over from watchingthewatchers.locals.com, an amazing community. I hope you join us there. All right, my friends, and so we've got one more segment on the show before we wrap it up. And on leave. We stopped elective inpatient surgeries, said Tom, the president and CEO of the medical center. We stopped some of our outpatient patient visits. We stopped ICU medical transfers from other referral rural hospitals. We've asked for more time to work on strategies with the state to ensure that as many people as possible get vaccinated, which is just weird because I thought that this whole thing was about saving lives and improving health and sort of making sure that we don't buckle our healthcare systems. That was sort of the reason why we had the original 15 days to slow the spread, right? We wanted to flatten the curve so we didn't have big spikes of people going in and overwhelming the hospitals. 15 days, slow the spread, stay home, okay, people are still going to get sick, but it's not going to be a big giant spike that overwhelms the hospital. Well, that turned into like 2 years now of continued COVID precautions, and I sort of get the feeling that it wasn't about kind of saving hospital capacity or making sure that we have all of the healthcare workers that we need, because they don't really care about them, do they? 83,000 of them are now on the chopping block in New York City. 400 people already on leave out of Erie. We had another several dozen that were fired out of Northwell Health. 30 days to get the jab. Otherwise, many more are now going bye-bye. So is it really about healthcare or stopping a problem with hospital capacity? Or is it just about bending the knee, following the mandates, doing whatever the government tells you to do? Kathy Hochul's the governor. Yesterday, she signed this, says, tonight, I signed an executive order to take bold action to alleviate potential healthcare staffing shortages following our vaccine mandate that keeps all New Yorkers healthy and safe, except the people that are going to be fired. Now, she's talking about staffing shortages that are following their vaccine mandate. So it sounds like to me, she is causing the healthcare staffing shortages. And so now she's signing an executive order to take bold action. What's in it? She said, last night, I signed an executive order that's going to alleviate these potential shortages. It significantly expands the eligible healthcare workforce. Oh, yeah, we talked about that. That includes the National Guard. Talked about that story yesterday. Allows additional healthcare workers to administer COVID-19 testing and vaccinations. So
it's all the time to say, I'm vaccinated. All of you. Yes, I know you're vaccinated. You're the smart ones, but you know there's people out there who aren't listening to God and what God wants. You know this. You know who they are. I need you to be my apostles. I need you to go out and talk about it and say, we owe this to each other. We love each other. Jesus taught us to love one another. And how do you show that love? But to care about each other enough to say, please get vaccinated because I love you. I want you to live. I want our kids to be safe when they're in schools. I want you to be safe when you go to a doctor's office or to a hospital and are treated by somebody. You don't want to get the virus from them. You're already sick or you wouldn't be there. We have to solve this, my friends. I need every one of you. I need you to let them know that this is how we can fight this pandemic, come back to normal, and then start talking about the real issues that we have to. Fighting systemic racial injustice, which exists today, and if there's a denier, I will take you on any day because I've seen it, I know it exists, and we're not going to have a blind eye to this ever again any longer under my...
Oh my gosh.
I'll leave a link to his videos. He's pretty good. This guy's a defense attorney from Watching the Watchers. He's pretty good. But freaking, oh man. You see what I mean? Using God. They get very unfair here. They, you know, what was I going to say? That one I showed, that one, that. Okay, now this is the Senate. Democrats roll child care and immigration into a $3.5 trillion budget framework. But, you know, this one, they want to extend the unemployment rate to 26 more weeks. And there are so many jobs that people that are out there, and people are paying quite a good chunk of change to get people to work for them, and yet nobody wants to work. But there's a problem with that. They want you to get used to the system. You know, so, you know, but I'm telling them people, they need to go to work because they do not want to be in the system because they could pull the rug out at any time if we don't do what they tell you. That's the truth, and that's fact. Plus, you've not only got people like my daughter works in a hospital, my son-in-law who works in a hospital, who pay taxes, Social Security, people that make a certain amount of Social Security, they pay taxes. You got the other ones that are paying taxes and stuff, while other people aren't. Is that fair to the people that are working? My daughter didn't get a bonus, and she's a frontline worker. She works directly with respiratory gear. So, it was a problem. I feel bad for her, but there's not much I can, do. She's got to work. But, yeah, it's a freaking dang. That's what I'm saying. These migrants are going to come in and snatch up these jobs because they work cheaper. Believe me, I've seen it before in the freaking dang Carter times. You couldn't, if you weren't the right person with the right skin, you couldn't get food stamps. That's a fact. Jimmy Carter. Gas prices went up. Inflation. Biden makes Carter look like a Sunday school teacher. But, yeah, and then these churches are infiltrated. There's people that are online here that are weird. One guy I'd called in a few times, and I told him about my story about picking up the Bible and stuff like that, and he just brushed me off. He didn't want to hear what I had to say. But I also told him in one before that somebody was talking about, makes you want to feel like, doing yourself in. And I said, I don't believe in that, and it's just something I don't believe in. They'd have to come after me. And he says, well, that might be you. And that's condoning that. I don't care. You don't condone that type of stuff. And he's supposed to be a Christian. And you got other ones that believe this Israel stuff and, how great they are, They didn't do the research that I've done, And I think Jonathan Kleck was the kind of like in the Mormon Church were kind of like a training videos, so I could hear certain things, But yeah, as inflation soars treasonous, Democrats charge ahead with $3.5 trillion in tax and spend bankrupt America plan. That's the very damn truth. These people are enough to make us saints swear. I'll tell you what. I don't curse God, but man, they can make you swear. Now, see, there's one thing about the White House right now. They're pushing the Democrats. They're crying because the Democrats or the Republicans won't go along with this $5 trillion thing, and are mad because they won't sign it, and they won't take what the Republicans want. They're blaming the Republicans, but the thing is, most people don't realize is that you got to know government. You got Congress, you got the Senate, and then it goes to the White House. The Congress passes a bill, it has to pass the Senate to become law. So the Senate, the Congress is totally Democrat. The Senate is almost 50-50, lacking one. And see, they want the Republicans to sign it, but the Republicans know the reason. And Kamala Harris could very well come in and sign that bill, but they won't do that because they want to get the Republicans' hands dirty, just like they've been doing. But, here, Gretch the Wretch, they passed the spending bill for, the state and the legislature, both the House and Senate are Republican, so they put in their things, like children under a certain children in school, like K through 12, no mask mandates. So now, because she's using the count, or not the county, she uses the county, but because, then she goes to the local health departments. And she said that mask mandate that they wanted was unconstitutional. And what it was is the mask mandates they didn't want the children to wear them. So now that's unconstitutional. If that ain't calling the pot calling the kettle black, is beyond me, and why that woman is still around is something that baffles me. Because she did like Biden. The Supreme Court ruled her executive orders unconstitutional way back last April, and she continued. So she weaponized the health department. We could be as bad as New York, and we could be as bad as California if we didn't have we know how to play the game. If we didn't have the Republicans legislature, even though a lot of people don't like them, you have to kind of put that balance in there. That's the way government works, and like it or not, we have to deal with government. But that woman that you saw that wants them to be all apostles, that's New York governor. Oh man, Andrew Cuomo was freaking better than that. She sounds like a freaking dang fairy tale woman. I'll tell you what made me laugh when I first seen that, because I freaking started laughing. Oh my God, she sounds like Mrs. Rogers. Like Mr. Rogers. Holy goo. But anyway, that's my big take for today. I'll leave the links. If this isn't, I forgot one thing. Yeah. They ain't gonna like this one, because this one is, we'll bring it down here a little bit. Grand Rapids, Michigan, Sarah Dunham says her parents, Cal and Glennda Dunham, did everything together. Church-going community, minded, outdoor enthusiasts, loved her family, especially their grandchildren, most of all each other. The love that they found together after previous marriage is fantastic, said Sarah. They were the people that you just looked at and you were like, I want to be old like that. I want that love when I'm that age. The pair were also cautious when it came to the CV cerveza bug. They were both fully with the heebie-jeebies, had been for months when during a family camping trip this month they began to feel sick. My dad called me before the family camping trip and said he wasn't feeling good, but he thinks it's just like sinus, and Linda caught it, and she's like, he gave me his cold, said Sarah. The third day they woke me up and said, we've got to go because we don't feel well. So I picked them up, or I picked them all up. They left. Days later, the couple was hospitalized and on ventilators. Both had pre-existing conditions that made things even more dire. By this point, Sunday, doctors were telling Sarah and the family that there wasn't much more they could do, and the couple would likely need to come off life support Monday. This was a while ago. I think it was this Monday. They had other plans, said Sarah. It was Sunday, and dads like you know that this is what we're going to do today. After being wheeled into the same room moments later, Cal passed away at 11:07 a.m. At 11:08 a.m., less than a minute later, Glennda passed away, as well as the couple held hands in the hospital beds beside one another. Now I'll leave the link to that. That's kind of a sad story. But the daughter got mad at the people that didn't have the heebie-jeebie. But anyway, it's not that. It's the questions I have that I've seen several times. I mean, you can't make up their mind, and I've seen several several red flags. So I mean, my daughter got that, but I'm not going to say no. I'm just praying she'll be all right. But yeah, this was on my news. I was surprised. I probably shouldn't have been, they probably did trigger somebody to be watching this and thinking, having my thoughts and the way I think. Because most people they know don't watch regular news because of the propaganda. But anyway, I'll leave links to all this stuff, and I wanted to share this with you. And yeah, if you're getting money from the state for unemployment, you better find some freaking job, because that's just they're just using you, getting ready. I mean, slavery. They want you to be in the system. That's what we used to call it when I was a kid, the system, or the establishment. So anyway, I'll let you go. I want to say God bless. Much less love to everybody who watches this, and take care of yourself. Be safe and be careful, and peace. God bless.